Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Dallas Stars franchise mode here in NHL 20. So in last episode we had the draft, which was a very good draft for us. We managed to snag like a couple low elites and medium elite guys all on the right side. So I'm really excited for the future of this team just based on that draft alone. As well, we also had the re-sign stage, and we did let go of a couple guys, but I am going to be bringing back one of the guys in these signings just as a depth defenseman. So anyways, let's get into free agency, and then we're going to start up the season simulation a bit, probably go up to around January the 1st if so. So the first thing we need actually is a top 4 defenseman and a top 6 defenseman, because we do currently have a bit of freed up spots on our defensive core. So we're going to have to sign a top 4, and there's not a whole lot of top 4s available. So I think the best option here is to go with the youngest guy, which is Kim Janssen. So we're going to sign him not to a long-term deal, like maybe I'd say a 2-year deal, just because we do have some defensive prospects in the works, and then maybe we could flip him if we're doing bad in a year or two. So Kim Janssen is going to get signed, hopefully. I should maybe give him a bit more money, but hopefully he signs with us. And then we're going to also have to sign a top 6 defenseman. So I'm thinking we're going to go with Jason Bowen here. Jason Bowen's only 27, and he's more of a physical defensive defenseman, which is something we don't really have. So I think this might be a good signing for us. So we'll bring him in on a 1-year deal. And also, we are going to need a depth defenseman because we don't have one at the moment. I mean, we could technically use Taze, who's in the minors, but I don't want to use the young guy. So we're going to bring back Cavallini again for 1 year as a depth defender, because he is getting old, and it gives him at least one shot at a Stanley Cup maybe again if his team performs well. And then we are going to assign one depth forward, because I did say in the last episode that we couldn't, kind of needed a 4th line forward or something like that. But I was looking at the young prospect that we have that could make the jump, because he is listed as a depth forward. And he's got really good offensive stats, and he's not that good defensively, like 79 defensive awareness. But we might give him some like power play time, and I really want to give this guy a shot already, I think, because his stats look really good. So we are only going to sign a depth forward, and that depth forward is going to be veteran Kirk Muller. So Kirk Muller still puts up a decent amount of points, and he also actually played with Dallas, I think, around this point in time. So I'm trying to go a little bit realistic on this one. So we'll sign him for 1 year, and he will be mostly used as a depth guy on this team if there is any injuries. Okay, so those are the signings. Hopefully all those guys sign with us. We're also going to take a look at what the computers do in terms of free agent signings in this episode, just because I like always checking that out to see what happens around the league. So there's a trade right away. Okay. Calle Johansson and a 3rd head to the Florida Panthers, and Washington gets Kent Manderville in a 4th. Interesting deal there. And we're getting offered a big trade. I don't want to give up a 1st, 2nd, Street, and Quenneville for Garpenlov. That's way too much. And a 3rd. Garpenlov's not that bad, but still, like, I don't want to do a deal like that. Finland has acquired a goaltender prospect in a 2nd for Petteri Nummelen in a 3rd and a 4th. So Montreal getting rid of a goalie prospect. Interesting. For a 3rd and a 5th, that's not bad, but I don't want to give up. Those guys might not make it, but I don't want to really trade for picks. It's pointless at this stage, because we're not trying to rebuild. Jyrki Lume and I think that's Jacob Middleton head to the Buffalo Sabres for 2 seconds. Okay, so Lume has finally left the Canucks. So Cavallini has returned as a depth defender, so welcome back, Paul. Kirk Muller has accepted as a depth center. Jason Bowen is accepted as a top 6 defenseman, and oh no, damn, I should have offered him a bit more. Kim Janssen has signed in Pittsburgh. So we're going to have to still sign a top 4 defenseman, which means our defensive core might be a bit weak this year, unless we make a trade. But I don't really think I want to make a trade. Now, Mario Lemieux is still a free agent, which is weird. I'm not going to sign him because I don't want to be the meme guy, but luckily there is still a top 4 defenseman available, and that is Alexander Godiniuk. So I think I'm going to offer him a deal. How's he been for points? Not much points. Like, he's more of a defensive defenseman, it looks like, but he's not got a good career plus minus. So we'll bring him in, hopefully. I'd say it for a year, and we're going to up this to like $5 million, or 5.1. And yeah, if we're doing bad at the deadline or something, again, maybe we'll flip him or something like that, or we'll try and upgrade from him if he's performing really poorly. Like, if his defensive stats, like if he's really badly minus, maybe we want to flip him for somebody higher, like him in a first round pick, even though I don't really want to trade firsts for like a better defender. There's another trade, geez, a first, a second for Paul Ranheim, third and fourth, which head to New York, okay. Lots of trades to start off this episode, and Godiniuk has accepted, so welcome to Dallas, Alexander Godiniuk. I like saying that name for some reason, like Godiniuk sounds cool. Our two low prospects for a fourth and a sixth, no thanks, not at the moment, Chicago. So Ekholm, a third, and Corson, so some prospects and a pick, head to Chicago for Derek King and a third. So I think Chicago is just trying to load up on prospects, it looks like, at this stage. Like a lot of teams, they're probably running into the stage where they have a lot of older guys and they don't have good prospects. Oh yeah, these are our RFA guys. Actually, some of our guys are still on RFAs because we had to qualify a bunch of AHL guys because they didn't want to accept our contract, but apparently we offered them a lucrative contract according to this game. But Berglund is accepted. I gotta make sure all those RFAs get signed. So Germany has acquired 2 seconds for Magnus Arvidsson in the 7th. Magnus Arvidsson heading to Boston. It looks like most of those AHL guys are getting contracts. And there's another trade. The first to fourth and Teal head to LA for Joseph in a third. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of trades this month. A lot more than there's been in the past. And there's another one, Cliff Ronning heading to Sweden for a first to third and Guérin, whoever the heck that is. But damn, Cliff Ronning leaving the Canucks as well. It looks like the Canucks are going through that phase where they just let go of a lot of players that went to the Cup Finals with them in '94. Like they're in the Mike Keenan era, I think is what one of my friends called it. Okay, so we are almost near the end, and there's another trade, Holden in stock for Andreas Johansson in the third. Okay, and I think all our AHL guys accepted now. Let's take a look at the free agent signings around the league, see if there was any big blockbuster signings. Like, where the heck did Mary Lemieux sign? Because I'm surprised Mary Lemieux hit the free agent market, to be honest. So here's all the trades. I think I read most of them. Actually, some of them I don't think I remember seeing, but there's some of the trades. Signing wise, let's go through this kind of quickly and take a look at if any big signings happen. So Tim Thomas in Florida. Okay, I think he was already in Florida anyways. Any big signings? I wonder where Lemieux signed though. Nemchinov in LA. Okay, Axelson in Rangers. Bob Probert in Montreal. Some interesting ones. Chris Terreri signs in Toronto. I think he might have played there in real life, if I'm not mistaken. Chris King signs in Chicago. What else do we got here? A lot of AHL guys and fourth liners pretty much at the moment. Kevin Dineen signs in Chicago. He's getting older by the stage. So it looks like a lot of the RFAs end up re-signing in their teams. Louis DeBrusque signs in Washington. Okay. Can you get out of here? So Detroit signed our former backup goaltender in Darcy Wackluck to a 2-year contract. So that's kind of interesting. They also signed Mark Fitzpatrick, so they're signing up some goalies, it looks like. Anybody else? Sean Burke signs in Calgary. That's a pretty good deal for Calgary. Sean Burke was a pretty big journeyman in the NHL. Like, he played with a lot of teams, like 8 teams, I think. What else we got here? Jay Moore signs in St. Louis. Okay. Yeah, there are not a lot of big names out there. Craig Simpson in New York. I'm just more concerned about where Lemieux signed, if he's still a free agent or not. Because if Lemieux never gets a contract, then I might have to sign him just for the shits and giggles. But I don't think I'm gonna do that. Connor Walchuk in LA. Pivonka in Boston, okay. Johan Hedberg signs in Sweden again for 6 more years, so looks like he's locked up pretty long term. Okay. Hunter Shattenkirk, what a name. It's a prospect, obviously, though. Never heard of him, not real. Dave Gagne, our former player, signs in Russia, because we did let him go, just to make some room up for the young guys. Pele Eklund, another former player, signs in Calgary. Kelly Butchberger signs in Anaheim. Todd Gill in Winnipeg. Okay, there's another heavy bowling goalie. Interesting. It's a prospect, I guess. Doug Gilmour signs in Montreal. Well, he actually played in Montreal in real life, and it wasn't around this time. It was around 2002, I think, or 2003. So this is kind of cool, though, that he signs there. So, yeah, that's it. And Ty Domi signed in LA. But it looks like Mario Lemieux might be still a free agent, which is weird. Let me just check if he actually is, because if he is still a free agent, I don't know why no teams are offering him a contract. Like, this guy's going to put up 80-something points. No, he did sign somewhere. I must have missed it. I'll have to player search him at the start of the season or something like that just to find out where he went, because like I did not see them all, and it could be just because I'm really tired, because I went to bed at 3 a.m. again due to playing racing with Tugi on stream again, so that's maybe why I sound a bit tired as well. Hopefully I don't sound too tired. Okay, so yeah, more teams still trying to go after our prospects, it looks like. That's an interesting deal, but because it makes our defensive core even stronger, but I'm not going to do it. Like, we get Dave Manson and Todd Gill. Todd Gill was literally just signed by Winnipeg, too, for a second and a third, but I'm not going to do that. But still, it's a pretty good deal to get 2 defensemen for that, and that's also a pretty solid deal, because Jeff Brown's a really good two-way defender for a first and a second, but if they would have offered me that earlier before the free agent signings, I probably would have done that instead of signing like Alexander Godinuk. A 4th and Koivunen for a 4th and 6th. No thanks, I don't want to make any trades in the off season. Not at this stage. Because like I don't like screwing up with this team. Like I feel like trades like are fun, but like at the same time, like if you make a bad trade in the off season, then it comes back to bite you during the regular season usually. Kind of like what happens with like the Sens trading for like Matt Duchene in real life like early in the season, and then it just came back to bite them. Okay, there's another trade, their first actually of the month, I think. So Leduc and DeMaio, some prospects, head to Finland for Eddie Olchuk in a 4th. Eddie Olchuk somehow grew up to an 87. He must have had a good season. So it must be like some statistical growth or something like that, because I think I had him as like an 83 or an 84 originally. And no, I don't want to make a trade the last little bit of this month. No, I don't need German Titov, no thanks, Germany. And no thanks. Okay, so let's take a look at those signings for this month, and then we're going to probably do a quick search to see where Mario Lemieux signed, and then I'll make a jump cut to the lines for the season, and then we'll start up the season simulation. So there's some of the trades. It looks like there was a couple other ones. Signing wise, I don't think there's probably any big names in here, but I'll scroll through it kind of quickly. If you guys want to pause it, you can, just in case there's anything I miss, because there is probably some stuff I miss, because I am really tired. So a lot of AHL guys, it looks like, and maybe potential bottom 6 forward guys. Jeff Bookaboom, I think, was with us last season, signs in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's not really a lot of big names out there, at least in this center of the signing period. It's mostly just like backup goalies and enforcers and stuff that are signing. And we should be almost near the bottom. Vesitosko resigns in Edmonton. I wonder if he's actually going to make the NHL. Ray Ferraro signs in Detroit. Nikolai Borchevsky in Winnipeg. Okay. And that's all there is. Okay. So let's take a look and see. I think we could do our player search now, and we could find out where Mario Lemieux signed, because I'm pretty curious. Can I find, yeah, player search. Okay, so let's search for, no, I don't want to just search for everybody. God damn it. Let's go here, type in Lemieux. I like this feature though, this player search feature, because it's kind of cool with this roster build, because you can see who's actually listed as like a first liner and whatnot and who isn't. Am I spelling this right? Yeah, I think I am. Okay. So search Lemieux, and Mary Lemieux signed in Russia. Wow, Russia is making some big signings in the offseason then. That looks really weird. So Mary Lemieux is headed to Russia, so on a 1-year deal. So he might be retiring soon too, but that gives Russia a legitimate top 6 center. Like, Lemieux has been trailing off in terms of points lately, but he's still been point per game every single season so far, so that's a really good pickup for them. Okay, so we're going to make a quick jump cut into the video to the edited lines, so I'll see you guys in a second. Okay guys, so our lineup is pretty much set. So we got Klatt, Wong, and Lundell, Courtnall, Medano, and Audette. So it's a kind of a weird top line that Mike Medano gets moved down, but there's a good chemistry boost there, so I'm going to leave it like that. And in the third line, we got Scott Young. Ludvig Martinson's going to be up to the third line this year. He played fourth line minutes last year, and he put up still 27 points despite having only 1050 on ice. So I think he could be pretty good on that third line. He's playing with also David Vaborny. And then on the fourth line, we got Mike Craig. Drake is going to make the lineup for now, but if he underperforms for some reason early in the season, like if he's really badly minus, I might send him down to the AHL because he could benefit from playing a year in the AHL because he pretty much leapfrogged the AHL at this stage, but he's a really good offensive player. So he is also getting a little bit of power play time just to see if he could actually produce at this level, and if for some reason he can't, like I said, I'll probably send him down. And then we will put in Kirk Muller into the lineup, and then we might have to pick up a depth guy if there's any injury problems, or we could just call up Drake multiple times throughout the season. But I think he could benefit from the AHL, so. And he's also playing with Cam Stewart, who's a grinder. Defensively, we have Hatcher and Zalapsky, Lachance and Godiniak, and Sweeney and Bowen, so not a bad defensive core. Just really sucks that we lost Ray Bourque last season to retirement. And in goalie-wise, we got Nabokov and Vokoun. Depth-wise, we got Cavallini and Muller. Now, Cavallini dropped down to a 76, and our prospect defenseman in the AHL is a 77, so there could be a chance that Taze gets called up some point throughout the season if we have multiple injuries at once. And then quickly in the AHL, we do have some good prospects down here. So we got like Wells, who's top 6, Stewart, who's low top 9, Johnson, who's medium top 6, Helmerson, who is top 9, Koivunen's a low top 9, I think, as well. Ekman Larson's bottom 6. Okay, Antilla is the elite guy we literally just drafted, so he's going to get a shot down there in the minors, see how good he is in North America. And defensively, Lindback is actually listed as a top 6, which is kind of neat. So he actually might make the NHL at some stage. He's playing with Taze. Those are 2 defensive prospects, really. And in goalie, Simic is technically a backup goaltender, so maybe next season even, we get rid of Vokoun, and then Simic could be backup, because we want to give Vokoun the best shot possible in a different country, maybe, or country or city or whatever. I don't know if you get traded to Canada. So anyways, let's get started with the season simulation, see how Drake is for the first 10 games maybe or so, and then we might make the decision to send him down or not. Because I wouldn't mind giving him a shot down there in the AHL, because I think on the top line in the AHL with that type of offensive stats, like he's got like 90 passing, he could probably produce at a really high level down there. So let's see how he does in the preseason maybe first. Actually, no, not in the preseason. Let's give him a little bit of a trial run in the regular season, like I'll say 9 games or 10 games. Yeah, let's give him 10 games. And then we'll see how he is, and if he's not doing good, we'll send him down and give him some first line ice time down there in the AHL, see if he could produce really well. And then hopefully he grows throughout the season, and then he could maybe join us for like the playoffs or something if we make it, because there's a chance that we could miss it due to the other strong teams in our division. So we're having a good preseason, which is not wait, what am I trying to say? I'm really tired. Not a well, it is, but I expected, but I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But okay, 3-2-1 in the preseason, not too bad. Let's take a look at who led us in points in the preseason. It was Trevor Wong, who's always been pretty good for us. 6 points in 6 games. Okay. So let's go to the first 10 games of the year, and then we'll take a look at Drake and see if he's doing good or not. So that's 5 games after that, 7 games, and 10 games literally right to the end of the month. Okay. So we'll right up here till the 31st and see how Drake does in Dallas. And yeah, that was kind of to make a pun for Dallas Drake, who used to play in the NHL. Okay, so we lose the first game 4-1. And then we win 8-1 against Tampa Bay, so hopefully Drake had his first NHL goal in that game. That'd be nice. Game against Vancouver is a 2-0 win, so we're actually playing some good defensive hockey in the last 2 games. And we already have an injury to Jason Bowen, who we signed in the offseason with an injured leg, which means Cavallini's going to get put into the lineup already. That was a good defensive game, but then that one was not, and we lose that one, so we're now 2-3, probably due to that injury to Jason Bowen, because Cavallini's only 76. We might need to get a better depth defender, because I don't know if Cavallini is good enough. Okay, Johansson is for 2nd and 7th. Now that's not that bad, but then I would have to scratch somebody like Jason Bowen, which I could technically do, but I'm not going to do that yet. Because Kelly Johansson was literally just traded like in the offseason, I think. Jason Bowen is already back, so he didn't miss too much. He missed 3 games, I think. But Cavallini, he wasn't minus, so was the rest of the team that just didn't do good. So there you go, Jason Bowen. How has Drake been playing so far? Actually, I'm not going to check. I want to see right at the 10-game mark. I don't want to see right now. I'm kind of curious if he's actually getting points or not on that 4th line, and then also on the power play. Donald Adet's been injured with the neck strain. We'll go replace player. That will put in Kirk Muller, who should be able to produce pretty decently as a depth guy, I think. And there's a 7-6 overtime win over the Islanders, so good offensive game. We beat Florida as well, 4-2, and game against Tampa Bay after Adet goes back into the lineup, which is right here. Kirk Muller already has a goal as a depth guy, so I think that was a solid signing maybe. And Donald Adet back into the lineup. There you go. And last game, Tampa Bay, we beat 5-1. So we're 5-6 in the first month. Actually, that was 11 games, I just realized, so I miscounted. But 11 games for Drake. Let's see how he's performing so far in the season. Wong's leading the team with 12 points, but he's only got 1 goal. Damn. He's passing the puck really well, though, at least. Let's go to edit lines quickly. See if Drake's doing anything. Hopefully he is doing something. And he's got 5 points in 11 games. It's not too bad for a guy that's not getting a whole lot of ice time. He's shooting at 40%. So he's not taking a whole lot of shots, but yeah, he's doing pretty well. None of his points actually so far are on the power play. So this is just all on the 4th line, which is pretty good. So I think I might keep him in the lineup a bit longer. But I think he could still benefit from the AHL, but he's doing not too bad. He's not actually a centerman by default, but he has 72 faceoffs, so that's why I'm playing him there. I mean, I could put Kirk Muller in the lineup instead of somebody else and then make him back to the wing if need be. But he's also got 4 giveaways and 4 takeaways, so he's playing pretty solid hockey. So I think I'm going to keep him in the lineup for now. House's the lineman's been playing 4 points for Stewart, and Craig's got 3 points. They're all plus, though, so I think we'll keep that line the same for now. Maybe we'll keep Drake in the lineup until the end of this episode, and then you guys could let me know about dropping him down to the AHL or not. But I think next episode will be probably pre-recorded, so maybe not. I don't know. So let's go to December the 1st, see if Drake has another good month. Like, we'll check after each month to see if Drake is, like, fallen off or not. And if he falls off, maybe we'll send him down. Just because, like, I think he could put up a lot of points in the AHL due to that passing level. Like, he's got really insane passing for a guy that's that low of an overall. And he's got potential to be a really good player for us. Like, he was a later first-round pick as well. Like, he's only a top 6 prospect. Like, he doesn't have elite potential, but he could be really good with those elite guys that we drafted in last episode. Seems like the Flames are adamant about trading for this low top 6 defenseman, but I'm not going to do it. But yeah, we've been pretty solid offensively in some of our games. Some of them we've been really bad defensively, but like we have had 3 5-goal games already this month. So our offense is definitely doing well. It's probably mostly the top 6, and then also I guess Drake might be helping out because we never really have like that offensive guy on the 4th line, I think, so he could be helping us out down there. Game against the Sens, after we lost a couple, well, we actually tied one. There's another 5-goal game. Seems like the offense is buzzing. So Rutar has been injured in the AHL. We'll go replace player. I think that puts in I forget who it is. That's the depth guy now down there. But we beat Toronto 4-3 after losing 1-0 to the Rangers. Alexei Zhamnov for 2 firsts. Nah, I don't really like that contract. 6 years at $6 million. It's a bit too steep for me. Even though Zhamnov is a pretty good top-line center, we don't really need him even. Because we got really good center depth, I think. Okay, so defensively, we got to go back and take out Reese Scarlett. That's who I was thinking of, and put in Rutar. How is Lindback playing down here in the minors? Okay, 14 points. Yeah, he might end up actually making the NHL. It's just really weird that a 76 would be considered a top 6 defenseman. But that's how it is in this type of build. So we're 12-12-2 at December the 1st. So not too good, not too bad either. And Medano is leading us in points now at 24-26. Interesting. We are just outside of a playoff spot at the moment. Let's take a look at how Drake has been performing, and then we'll decide about sending him down or not again. Okay, Drake, how have you been? You have been... it's still pretty solid. 10 points in 26 games. A +3, only 2 penalty minutes. Shooting at 18.2% on that 4th line, and he still has no power play points. So we're going to probably take him off the power play, I think. Because I put him on here just to get more points, but he doesn't seem to be getting points. So we'll go back to Trent Klatt being on the power play. Because Trent Klatt was originally there. Because like if this guy could produce as a 4th liner only, might as well just give him 4th line ice time until he is ready to be a power play player. But I'm surprised he never had any power play points so far, considering he's got a decent amount of points. Okay, let's go to the end of this month, and then I think we'll wrap up the episode around the end of this month. We'll take a look at our player stats, that type of thing. Just because I don't really even know how long I've been recording for. Like, I'm completely out of it at the moment. And I don't want episodes being like an hour long. So, I mean, I could talk forever, but still, you guys would never watch that video that's a full hour. At least I don't think so. So we win our first 2 games of December. We tie the game against the Oilers, so guys still getting points at least. Game against Vancouver is a 6-5 win, and then we tie with the LA Kings. Game against Toronto, and we lose that one, so that's our first game with no points this month. Game against Sweden is a 2-0 win. Game against Chicago as another loss, so there's our second loss in 3 games. We beat Detroit though, which is nice because that's a divisional opponent, but we lose to Boston. Game against Germany is a tie, and then we got 3 more games to go. The Islanders, we lose to them as well, so we're kind of struggling a bit near the end of this month, it looks like. And we have an injury to our top prospect in the AHL. We'll replace player for now. We lose in overtime to Florida, which means basically just a normal loss. And game against Czech Republic after we find out that Trevor Wong has been injured. So that's a big injury to have at this stage, but we'll put in Kirk Muller. But damn, Trevor Wong getting injured is not good. And we do beat Czech Republic, but we're 18, 16, 5-1 here at January the 1st, which is not bad, not good either. We need to kind of pick it up a bit though. And we are in the last wildcard spot at the moment, but not by much. And Mike Modano's leading with 35 points in 40 games, which means our offense is kind of struggling a bit. It seems like maybe we're better depth-wise in terms of points, but like we don't have any point per game players, which is a bit of a concern. Okay, so let's take a quick look at how our team's been performing, and then we will probably wrap up this episode. So, how have we been in terms of scoring goals and stuff like that? Like in terms of the entire league. Like, are we scoring enough for, let's see, goals for per game? Where are we? Apparently we're not that good offensively. Actually, we're okay. We're like in the middle, but 115 is not a lot. And we're also close in goals against. So our goals against is one of the best in the league. So we're a better defensive team than a better offensive team at the moment. So we do maybe need to pick up or upgrade somewhere, or maybe make some line changes. I have no idea. Our power play is, one of the worst in the league. So, that's why I had to take Drake off, because that power play is just not doing anything. And then in terms of our penalty kill, it looks pretty bad as well. Yeah, it's one of the worst in the league, 78%. Our special teams always have, like, really bad trouble. Yeah, we might need to change up the special teams for next episode. I don't know. We might. Okay, let's take a quick look at player stats so far for the season. Just a brief overview. So, looks like our top 6 is doing really well. And then our third line is doing okay. Drake is up to 12 points in 40 games and only a +1. I might send him down for next episode. Yeah, I think I probably will. Because even though he got 12 points, I think it'll be best to give him another shot in the AHL for the rest of the year. Just because at this stage we need to have the best players in overall wise as possible. So I think I'll probably send him down for next episode. But he has off to a good start, which is nice. Martinson's only got 7 points on the third line, so he's more of a fourth liner, I guess. We might put him back down to the fourth line and put somebody like Muller on the third line instead, because Muller could produce. And then goalie-wise, how's our goaltending been? Nabokov's been really solid, and Vokun is kind of struggling and not getting to play a lot. So, I think Vokun's the type of goalie we're going to have to let go of. Is he an RFA at the end of this year? I don't even know. But we're probably going to have to let go of him, and then we could play that other guy eventually. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Dallas Stars franchise mode. So in next episode, we will take it to January 1st and the rest of the season simulation, and we might make some trades depending if this team is performing or not. I would like to make the playoffs, but at the same time, we do kind of need some good prospects, because there is still a lot of older guys on this team that need to be replaced. So anyways, let me know what you guys think down below, and I will see you guys next time.